I make this video because I want to try to save my soul, if that is possible. And there are many moments when I feel lost. And when I do, I cling to the highest idea that I had, I guess, which is the idea that I keep talking about in a lot of my videos, this experience that I had in August 2018 of being the whole of reality. And I discovered, or I realized, that being the whole of reality implies being the root of all evil, of all the evils of reality. And I asked myself this question: how did I arrive here? What am I doing here? Who sent me here? It must be God, but I identified with God, so I guess that I had to send myself down here. But how is that possible? And I later realized that I was not God, but the negative of God. And I wondered, and I still do, if God, that which we call God, might not be experiencing himself through me. So he's partly with me, but he's not me in the sense that God is immaterial. So and when I had this experience, I became an idealist, in the sense that I had the certainty that the world could not exist outside of my consciousness, which is an idea that I know is true, but that I don't believe, because it is unbelievable. So usually people believe ideas without knowing them. That is the definition of a belief. But I find myself in the opposite situation, in which I know some ideas to be true, but I don't believe them. And I thought in this moment, almost 4 years ago, that reality was bad, but if it only existed through the mediation of my consciousness, I said to myself, it could have been worse, in a sense that all the evils of the past, in the sense of what happened before my consciousness, were kind of projections. They were not really real. So I started to become doubtful of the very existence of the past. And later, I realized that what had happened to me was what Hegel calls reason. And there's another question: how can Hegel know so much about me and about reason? That's something which is beyond understanding for me in this moment. I don't understand how Hegel can know so much. That's yeah. And he says that history is rational, but the way I understand reason is an individual consciousness. So there is rationality in history, in the sense that it is the story that reasons tells and narrates to itself. And when I had this experience of being the whole of reality, the mind of, I call this God, but actually it was not God, it was reason, but I believe that it was God. But being the mind of the whole of reality, I said to myself, at least I am not responsible for slavery, World War II, colonization, the wars of religion, the Roman conquest, because I believe that it was not really real, in the sense that I don't know how to explain this, in the sense that in a stupidly idealist perspective, I said to myself, my consciousness was not present, therefore it lacks reality, so to speak. That's not very clear, but and the more I think about it with more experience and more reflections, almost 4 years later, I now believe that history is rational, in a sense that it is a backward projection in time of the history of reason, and that I have to recognize aspects of myself in history, whether or not the past really happened. It is real in the sense that it determines the way people think and behave and act in the present. So I was tempted to adopt a almost oriental way of thinking, in the sense of a radical negation of reality, and try to escape in the void of the nothingness that the Buddhists seek, and to deny the existence of everything. But I don't believe that it is possible without going through what Hegel calls the path of the negative and the work of the negative. So I now believe that I have to contribute to the production of a rational discourse on the entire history of the cosmos and biological evolution and historical evolution. And it is only through the production of this rational speech that we and I will discover at the end that this process of evolution was not really real. But I can only negate its delusional aspect by rationally understanding the process. And when I look at history, this is frightening. Hegel says that spirit shall recognize himself everywhere. And I know that in order to liberate myself from the world, which is a kind of a prison, I have to recognize myself in every human mind, present or past, and that I have to behave as if I had wanted the other to be what he is. Which means that I have to recognize my mind in the mind of every criminal. And I don't know. I don't know why there is negativity within God. Is it a free decision of God, who wanted to become the negative of himself? Or is it logical necessity, as Hegel shows, but then God is not free? I want to extract the good that might be extracted from my soul, if there is good to be extracted from the soul of the negative. And I am afraid. Of course, how could I not be afraid? And I know that someday mankind will look at me and I just want the other, which is my own other, to understand that it is difficult to be what I am. And I don't know if the other will tell me, But you chose to be what you are. You are responsible for your own choice. You are responsible for the difficult situation in which you find yourself. I don't know what the other will say to me. And I don't know what God, in the full consciousness of His being God, I don't know what God will think of me. Did He send me here knowing that I would fail? Did I, in a higher version of myself, I don't know, did I send myself down here knowing that I would fail? I don't know. But when I feel lost, I don't even read Hegel. I read Philip K. Dick, and more and more I read Martin Luther, the Protestant theologian. So, and Schelling also. Yeah.